And now, victims of human rights violations, their families and activists are now demanding that the proposed reparations guidelines made by the Kenyan National Commission on Human Rights be made tax-free. They also want June 25th to be declared a public holiday. Agutu Rosa tells us more.
Over 50 survivors of human rights violations and their families are calling for an extension of at least 90 more days to ensure a transparent and inclusive reparation process. Among the key demands are state accountability, justice and fair compensation. A proposed compensation framework includes 5 million Kenya shillings for loss, where the Kenya National Commission for Human Rights had announced a compensation of 3 million Kenya shillings plus medical and funeral expenses. The families proposed 4 million Kenya shillings for survivors of sexual and gender-based violence, the same amount that was proposed by the Kenya National Commission for Human Rights. They also proposed 5 million for families of those still missing after 1 year, where KNCHR had not included monetary compensation on this category, but a public apology, psychosocial support and investigation. The families proposed 3 million Kenya shillings for enforced disappearances, including those who later returned, where KNCHR had announced 2 million Kenya shillings, psychosocial support and social health authority. The families also proposed 3 million Kenya shillings for amputations and permanent disabilities on top of full medical coverage, where KNCHR had announced 1 million Kenya shillings plus medical expenses, public apology, social health authority, plus disability benefits for severe physical injuries that include bullet wounds and amputation. The families proposed 250,000 Kenya shillings for wrongful arrests and detention, where KNCHR had announced a compensation of 200,000 and public apology. They insisted that the reparations must be tax-free and must not replace the state's responsibility to fully cover all medical and rehabilitation costs.
If you look at the statement, it gives different categories. And we've also gone further to break even some of those categories that were in the initial guidelines. And we've broken them further and we've given each category an amount.
To honor those deceased, the group is calling for June 25th to be declared a public holiday and for a national monument to be established.
As victims, families, and defenders of human rights, we remind Kenyans that preparation are not charity. They are a right grounded in justice, dignity, and accountability.
For many here, justice delayed has already been justice denied. Now they say the country must choose a different path. Agutu Rosa, KTN.
And on to matters